Hello, I'm Given Metal 12668, and apparently I'm in a bunch of chaos. I didn't realize how much chaos this was. Yeah, it's a lot to take in. But there's not much that I can do about that. But, okay, this is over here because I've test run this part so many times. But the idea is this thing right here would fly in from this side. These things would activate by doing exactly what I'm showing you right now. Removing that, and then boop, and boop. And then we just press these buttons, and they're off on their way. And as they're going, they're pushing this along. I'm going to change the default state of these things to be off by simply putting a torch on this one, and I still haven't fully gotten that one hooked up because redstoning is unique. Also, this one's broken right now. Never mind, maybe it isn't. Okay, maybe it was just... Yeah, when I initially wanted to start, these things were not there. There's always something off. But, I guess we can try it. So, you can see that it successfully pushes it all the way out. Then when I remove this block, it should. Yeah, no, that's not a great sign. Sometimes when you're working with multiple extension stuff, it gets very odd very fast. Oh, yeah, that's the problem. I need these to be different. Anyways, let's try that again. Nope. I need to adjust some timing stuff. I mean, to be fair, with the exception of one of them not I might just have to rework this thing. That's a part of it though. Okay, that one needs to be sticky so we can pull it along. No, that one needs to be sticky, sorry. I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to flying machines. I have literally outdone myself on this. And I don't know what I'm doing. But, okay. The biggest problem is, let me just activate this one really quickly, which is super fast and efficient, and never makes any mistakes. Boom. Biggest problem is, I can't activate this one and send it off, which it has its own cool thing to do that, and recombobulate it until I've sent these off. But I can't send these off until I've sent that one off, because the observer is literally hitting right there. So my beta solution to this is to do this. That pulls it back. These impulsively, like these ones, activate this, which pulls the entire thing back. So then we do that, and then that, and that, and it sends it back. I don't know if that would work for this one. I'm not going to test it because I still have to work out what's wrong with this one thing over here. There's always something to do. But hopefully I manually did it. Yep. Okay. Nope. Needs to be. So that, by the way, is why we need to have different ones on the outside. If we have both sticky pistons, it'll hesitate. It'll go whatever way you sent it, but then it'll head back. So we need to have sticky piston in one direction and normal piston in the other. And in order to reverse directions, we need to switch which one is which. So you have to store. And if you're thinking, why don't you just swap that one and that one? That would be because then the observers would get pushed, not the slime. We need the slime to get pushed, not the observers. So we have to store the opposite type in the same facing direction. inside the flying machine and then swap them out. So that's kind of what's going on right now. But if we can execute that swap correctly, we get an omnidirectional flying machine. Like this one. And padow. Boom. And padow. Now, that doesn't have the same complications as this one, because this one we have to pull back both halves of the flying machine. So we have to pull back total of 4 pistons. And we can't have a divider in between the pistons, which means if we don't do it right, they could mix with each other. Anyways, my most efficient one is by far this one. Never mind, because I've placed that block there for some reason. But boom. And it's swapped. Absolute genius. And then, because I've already swapped that one, I can power that, and boom, we're off. Anyways, initially I was going for a different design with this falling edge detector, which is basically where if you power something, it doesn't receive an output, but when you unpower it, it does. And, well, that was a bit hard to get working. I was using copper bulbs initially. The copper bulbs, they were interesting. Every time that I quit the world and joined back in, they would be on the on position. Why? I have no clue. They would all just turn to on, which would absolutely mess up the thing. Of course. That's from me activating this. The way that I've chosen to activate this. So I actually ended up asking ChatGPT how to do a falling edge detector in Minecraft Bedrock. Now it did initially give me Java responses, but I can confidently say that that's not exactly, but it was inspired. It inspired what you saw here, and that's huge. Like, to have an AI inspire Redstone, I never thought that was possible. I thought that it would absolutely suck. Why did I just... So sorry. Okay. But, let's see what the problem is with this one. So, it pulls back just fine. Okay, that's intended to... Oh! Silly me. I forgot to place a singular redstone dust. Okay. Or that got broken in some other way. Now you might notice that there's a lot of that going on. And you might be wondering, why is it pulsating back and forth? And that would be because sometimes it would update in a way that it wasn't intended to, like right here would receive an update, and as you can see, we want to push this one back to here, but if it's updated, we can't exactly push it, can we? Instead, it wants to pull the thing, so we have to flash repeatedly. Now, why that didn't happen with this one? Long story short, I have no clue. Redstone kind of just depends on your state of mind when you're building it, how the redstone turns out. If your state of mind is not great, the redstone isn't going to be reliable. But most of these systems are reliable. I just need to hook up a system that will automatically do all this, so when you remove this, it'll pulsate that one, and then you just replace it. So, similar to the other one. But, if I send this one off now, making sure, yes, there's a barrier there, Because, oh wait, no there isn't. Oh wait, yeah there is, okay. Okay. So, if I unpower this one now, it should... Perfect! So, for future notice, we have a sticky piston on top and a normal piston on the bottom. Okay? Of the first half. Let's just view that. Perfect. I don't know why that one was missing. Probably something to do with piston pulling shenanigans. Probably something to do with me implementing this instead of my other design. I don't know. Alright, gotta reverse it again. Okay, and boom. This one's super satisfying because it, like, it shouldn't work because of the pulsating. It should make it unreliable, but it works. It just does. But yeah, that's the progress that I made. Like I said, my favorite thing is this one, which you can see better with that. However, I'm also going to give you a demonstration with these because maybe you can't see the swapping, I don't know. So what happens here is these pull it back. This one pulls it down while this one pushes it up. So one ends up here and the other ends up here. So instead of being here and here, they're now there and there. Then this one pushes it so it ends up here. And this one pulls it so it ends up here. And that swaps them. Same thing for up here, except, yeah, it's a little bit more complicated because when you're doing flying machine block swappage, not only do you have to swap the blocks, but you have to make sure that any slime or honey that could even possibly be in any spot at any given time, during that given time, there is no anything that can pull that it's not supposed to pull. So that's why we have to use double piston extenders here, even though they're technically only single piston extenders. Because they go like that, and then that one just retracts. There's no third firing like that. But that's just because otherwise, well, part of it is for symmetry because it would look weird to have that here and not on the other one. But down here, on this layer, it's because this one right here would actually pull that. So we have to retract it. And that's why this looks so weird. Like, why not just use like that? That would be why. And I would say the hardest part of all of this so far is the flying machines. Specifically the block swapping, even more specifically pulling back these blocks so we actually can block swap, because you want to build the basic infrastructure first and then you have to figure out how to bake into that basic infrastructure weird ways of doing things. It's like here, why did I use glass? I think it was powering this one. Yeah, this redstone dust here was powering this one as well as this one, which I didn't want it to power this one. But you can see that I've reused this section, which is designed to turn this and this on, to power this. And then I've actually had to go really close to the main flying machine. And previously it would actually like break the main flying machine because it would power one of the pistons, so I lowered it down a bit. But yeah, if we press the button, it pulls it back first, and then it activates those, and then it compresses, and then it returns. And then you gotta tweak with the timings a bit. And this is some... I know I said I had some spaghetti redstone in my RGB displays, specifically part 3. How's this for spaghetti redstone? Oh, one more thing that I want to show you though. Okay, I don't know if this is in the right polarity. When in doubt, check it. Nope. Okay. Did that affect it? Yes, it did. Okay. So, we go boom. We go boom. This is not what I wanted to show you, by the way. And boom. So, let's just make sure that that safeguard is in place. Good thing to check if it isn't. And then we power this. So, because this is compacted, the ideal scenario would be to power this observer. But there's a giant machine here. And in order to power this observer, I need to get rid of the giant machine. But in order to get rid of the giant machine, I need to get rid of this observer. And, well, it's a bit crammed under here. So I can't really do that. So, the unconventional way that I've come up with is, let me just block swap this really quickly because it's required. It broke. Why did it break? I have no clue. If I did, well then it wouldn't be broken. Okay. Boom. Okay. So, I want to just test if this is the right polarity. Yep, it is. Which means I have to swap it back. Why did I do that? Well, because it's a required piece. But anyways, if I try this again, hopefully, that's the other reason I wanted to do this. See if this was just a one-time thing. Nope, something that I did mess it up. I didn't even do anything. Well, that's fine. I'll fix that later. But, you know, that one to be like that one to be like that, and that one to be like that, and that one to be like that. So, the unconventional way that I've thought of is I use the same technology down here, right? Except it's only a triple piston extender this time. And then I power this one. How I'm going to power that one? I don't know. We'll see. Okay, that pulls it back. And we could theoretically power that, but not in practice. So we do that. We do that and that. And bada bing, bada boom. It returns. And then I'm thinking of doing something similar for this one. Now, how / if / when I'm going to get this all up, I don't know. That's going to remain to be seen. But once I'm done with this side, I need to do that side. Once I'm done with that side, I need to create a user interface. Once I create a user interface, I need to wire it up to this. Once I wire up to that, I need to wire that up to this. Once I wire that up to this, I need to wire up a detection for when it's out of stock. Once I do that, I need to wire that to a lamp in the user interface. So this is going to be like a 20-part long series or something stupid like that. And I apologize in advance, but this is a huge project. Sounded simple when I initially thought of it. Not at all. Especially with everything going on. I might be slowing down a bit. Anyways, I hope you insert whatever verb would best fit your time right now. A great day / night. And goodbye.